This is Mayor Ron Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from the Auburn City Council meeting of September the 17th, 2019. We began during the Committee of the Whole last night with some board appointments. We approved Ms. Laura Cooper and former Mayor Bill Ham to the Industrial Development Board, and we also approved Mr. Steve Pelham to the Lee County Youth Development Board as well. We appreciate everybody that applied for these two boards, and as always, thank you for your service. We did announce last night a couple of other board vacancies that will be coming up with the Tree Commission, the Building Board of Adjustments, and the Education Building Authority. We'll be making these appointments at the second meeting in October. So if you're interested in any of those boards, please go to our website and look and see what those boards do and what their function is. And if that's something you'd like to do, please fill out an application and apply for those positions. Under the regular agenda last night, in the consent agenda, we approved an alcohol beverage license for a new Italian bistro in downtown Auburn, Esposito's Italian Bistro. Under contracts and agreements, we approved 3 years worth of pedestrian light poles from Mayor Electric for almost $14,000. Very excited to announce that we've purchased another 560 recycle rollout carts for $26,000, and I'll remind you that that will be repaid by a grant that we'll apply for later on. We approved a $22,000 contract with Vintech International, and this is for server hosting fees for our downtown parking kiosk that many of us use today. We purchased a new pickup truck for the Inspection Services Department. We also approved a contract with Bodine Landscape Services for our medians on South College Street between the Jewel Collins Smith Art Museum and the new Gouge Performing Arts Center. This is an area that we recently recognized a team of our employees for getting a lot of work done in preparation for the new kickoff of the Gouge Performing Arts Center. And so now's the time during the fall to go back and do the planning and the irrigation work. And so we look forward to that being a beautiful gateway into our city in the future. We approved an annual contract with the McPherson Company for fuel, unleaded fuel and diesel fuel for all of our equipment and vehicles that we maintain here at the City of Auburn. We approved a new piece of equipment for our maintenance division. We also approved a new dump truck for our Parks and Rec department. And we approved an extension of development agreement for the Auburn Mall, and this involves around the old JCPenney property that we have taken much of that away, and we've created a new entrance there at the mall, and there'll be new stores and new restaurants inside the mall. There'll also be some new out parcels, and they're not quite through with the project, so we extended the agreement for 1 extra year to allow them the time to get through. And we appreciate everything that the whole property group is doing with our mall, and we're excited about everything that's going on in and around the mall area. Under ordinances, we approved a new no parking zone on Williams Avenue, and this has been a subject that we've discussed the last couple of meetings. There's been some confusion, and there's some unique situations there on Williams Avenue, but we think we've got it right now. And then we also approved an annexation of 23 acres for Michael Allen Homes. This is in the Sand Hill area. Part of this was within our optimal boundary. Part of it was outside of our optimal boundary. The Planning Commission and the planning staff felt like it was okay to bring it all in, and then we'll redraw our optimal boundary in the future. Under resolutions, we approved a new commercial support use warehouse and office building at 1999 Mall Boulevard. This is primarily an industrial area in and around the mall. We also approved a new use for a building in the historic district, 121 Mitcham Avenue. This building has been functioning as an office building recently. It was originally a home, and now it will go back to be a residential use, so we approved that last night as well. We also approved a a use for commercial and entertainment lounge at 145 East Magnolia Avenue, and this is the back side of the property that has the Fusion restaurant in the front, and this is the back end of that property, and this will actually face out towards the city parking deck. Most of the time last night was spent on two items. The first one is the residential development off of North Donahue Drive that includes traditional homes and some townhomes. And really the discussion last night was over safety of the connectivity of this new neighborhood onto the Owens Road, Jenkins Road area. We heard from many citizens. I'm counting now. It was well over 20 citizens that spoke last night with their concerns over safety in this area. Ultimately, the City Council approved the conditional use of the townhomes. The homes were permitted by right, but we did put as a condition that the roads could not connect. And so people will not be able to pull off of North Donahue Drive and then enter into that neighborhood. I personally believe this will be safer for all the homes and families that live in the Jenkins Drive, Owens Road area. There are many young families there. They have certainly gotten used to a different style of life with no sidewalks, with all their activities at that location here in Auburn. And I think it'll also make the Cary Woods area much safer. So ultimately, we approved the conditional use, but we put a condition on there that the roads would not connect. And then we finally had a discussion last night about the Cullars House. Once again, we heard from a number of people last night. We have certainly heard from people through email over the last couple of weeks. The City Council voted 6-2 not to approve the $1 million allocation to pick up, move, rebuild, and repurpose this home. We have heard our community. It's important for you to understand that we brought this discussion to you because we felt like it was important for us to have a community debate about this. This is a private home that is owned by a private citizen and has been purchased by a private entity, but the city wanted to turn over all the rocks in the field to try to understand if there was any role for us to play. We were hoping that someone from the private sector would come in and would have a keen interest in moving this home and using it for their own purpose. As the city leader, I was prepared to ask our city staff to participate in whatever manner possible to try to make this happen. And we entertained a number of conversations over the last 60 days, but ultimately none of those people decided that this was something that they could do, primarily for financial reasons. And so at the end of the day, after talking to the university a couple times, hearing from our Parks and Rec department that they had no primary use or programming for a facility like this, the City Council determined in a 6-2 vote that they would not allocate the $1 million. These are difficult decisions. I personally do not relish the fact that we have these kind of decisions that something may go away because of this. But it's our responsibility to make the best decision on behalf of our community, and I trust that's what each and every council member did last night. If you have any comments about any of this or questions, don't hesitate to give myself or your council representative a call about that. This is Ron Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from the September 17, 2019 City Council meeting. Have a good week.